New Yorker just dropped an absolute bomb of an essay on Sam Altman, the kind that you wish you could drop about your ex. 15,000 word investigation into Sam Altman, his character, gritty, page 6 type news for the most highly valued private tech company in the world. This is based on over 100 interviews, 70 pages of secret memos that Ilya Sutskever, his co-founder at OpenAI, compiled and sent as disappearing messages, 200 pages of private notes from Dario Amodei, former OpenAI employee and current king of Anthropic. He kept these for years under the heading My Experience with OpenAI, subheading Private Do Not Share, till today. The first item on Ilya's list of concerns about Altman is one word: lying. This is the most detailed, scathing account of the man running the most valuable AI company on earth that has ever been published. And the picture it paints is not ideal. So the piece is by Ronan Farrow. Farrow is the reporter who broke the Harvey Weinstein story. Start with the memos. Before the board fired Sam Altman in November 2023, Ilya Sutskever, who was OpenAI's chief scientist, the person that many people consider to be the most gifted AI researcher of his generation, he compiled about 70 pages of Slack messages, HR documents, and photos taken on personal phones to avoid detection on company devices. The mother lode of receipts. He sent them to board members as disappearing messages because he was terrified of being caught. These memos allege that Altman misrepresented facts to executives and board members knowingly and deceived them about internal safety protocols. This is the chief scientist, not a whistleblower in a spy movie, and he's using disappearing messages to talk about the CEO's pattern of lying. For what it's worth, Ilya is no longer at this company, and Sam Altman very much is. Separately, Dario Amodei, who left OpenAI to start Anthropic, he kept detailed notes for years. This is over 200 pages of notes. His conclusion, in his own words, is that the problem with OpenAI is Sam himself. Neither collection contains one single smoking gun, but what they describe is an accumulation, a pattern over time where Altman reportedly offers the same job to two people, lies about whether safety features were approved, all paint a picture of someone who, as one board member put it, is quote, unconstrained by truth. Here are the specifics. Altman told the board that safety features in GPT-4 had been approved by a safety panel. Board member Helen Toner asked for documentation. The most controversial feature, including one that actually let users fine-tune the model, had not been approved. He also never told the board that Microsoft released an early version of ChatGPT in India without completing a required safety review. He just didn't mention it during hours of briefings, which seems like something that might come up during a board meeting. So OpenAI's super alignment team, the one tasked with making sure AI didn't destroy humanity, was promised 20% of the company's computing power. 4 people who worked on or with the team told the New Yorker that the actual number they received was 1% to 2%. Most of it was with the oldest machines with the worst chips, so they essentially got thrown in the janitor's closet of technology, the team that was meant to ensure that the company's mission to save the world with AI, not destroy it. The good hardware went to making consumer products. The team that was supposed to protect the entire mission of the company was dissolved without finishing its work. When Altman was negotiating to become CEO, he also made a secret deal with president of OpenAI, Greg Brockman, and Ilya Sutskever. He said that he would step down if they asked him to. The actual board, the one with legal authority over him, did not know about this engagement. So he essentially appointed his own shadow board. At the same time, he told researchers that Brockman's authority would be reduced, and he told Brockman something very different. Sam Altman is holding all the cards and dealing them differently to each person. And to recap, the board existed to oversee the CEO, but the CEO made a secret deal to answer to 2 people who weren't on the board. And then when the actual board fired him, he picked the new board members himself and proposed the arrangement over text to the CEO of Microsoft. Okay, so then during the Microsoft investment negotiations in 2019, when they put $13 billion into the company, Dario Amodei, who was leading safety, had gotten Sam Altman to agree that a very important clause in OpenAI's founding charter would be preserved. That's the merge and desist clause, which says that if another company builds safe AI first, OpenAI would stop competing and help them instead. As the deal was closing, Amodei found out that Microsoft had been giving the power to block any mergers. Dario confronted Altman. Altman denied the provision ever existed. Amodei read it to him out loud and then forced another colleague to confirm it to Altman's face. Then there's the firing and the reinstatement. Dude, this is so messy. When Altman got fired, Thrive Capital, which was about to invest at an $86 billion valuation. They put the deal on hold and made it clear that the money would only come through if Sam Altman was back. This meant that every employee that was waiting to cash out millions in equity had a financial incentive to side with Sam. Altman sent a text to Satya Nadella of Microsoft to propose the new board. He identified who should oversee the investigation. The two people who were chosen to oversee the independent inquiry into Altman's behavior were actually selected as part of conversations with Sam Altman. And then the investigation actually never produced a written report. The findings were shared as oral briefings only, like a coffee chat. No paper trail. They hired the firm that investigated Enron and produced less paperwork than a parking ticket. There are a lot more details in this piece that do not bode very well for OpenAI and Sam Altman's character. I think what's also important here is that this is the company that bought a media outlet this week, TBPN. They asked the government for legal immunity and to preempt state laws. They're building data centers in the UAE, and they're preparing for a $1 trillion IPO. The person running it has been described by colleagues, board members, his own chief scientist, his co-founders, his business partners, as someone who can't be trusted. And this week, the same week that this piece dropped, OpenAI bought TBPN, which is the tech talk show that would normally cover a story like this. Building a media machine to support the founder's propensity for alternative facts. I could make a longer video about this. I'm gonna stop, but the real takeaway is we just got 70 pages of evidence that the guy leading a $1 trillion company preparing to go public is lying and deceptive, and that's probably something we should be talking about.